See, none of y'all ain't never been. You know, I'm the only one. But see, I was addicted to crack cocaine, and I wasn't an occasional user. I was one of those ones that all day, every day, 3-4 days, 5-6 days in a row. So anyway, God picked me up, cleaned me up, and set me on the solid rock foundation. So he called my husband and I from Ocala, Florida, down here to Port St. Lucie. And we had come down here to visit some friends of ours that have a church in Belgrade, and we came down on one weekend just out of the blue to visit. And on the way down, he said in the car, looked at my husband and I said, God's moving, I feel him moving. And he's like, what's going on? And I said, we're fixing to buy a house. And he's like, are you crazy? We ain't got about $100 in the bank. How are we going to buy a house? And I said, I don't know, but I'm telling you, we're fixing to buy a house. Long story short, in 3 days' time, we got pre-qualified, signed a contract, and found a house to buy. And they said we needed $2,000 down. We didn't have $2,000 down. Somebody came by, said they'd give us the $2,000 down. It went from $2,000 down to $20,000 down. Somebody came by and gave us the $20,000 down. That was 2 years ago. We've not made the first house payment out of our bank account in 2 years. God has sent somebody by every single month with the exact amount that we need to pay our house payment. So don't tell me he ain't real. Because he'll do what he says he's going to do when he says he's going to do it. So we came down here to be a part of our friend's church. Now, I couldn't understand why God sent us down here, because it is 100% African-American church. My husband and I and my 2 children are the only 4 Caucasian people in the church. So I couldn't understand it. Not that I see color, but I was surprised at the prejudice that I was hit with. I was hit with prejudice, and I said, Lord, I don't understand this. I ain't got a prejudice bone in my body. I don't understand this. Why am I getting hit with this? And he said, why do you think you're so special?
Come on with it.
I was scorned on. I was hit with prejudice. What makes you so special? And I'm like, oh, shut up. Okay, God. Okay. So it's taught me a lot, and it's taught me that, you know what? For whatever reason, maybe I was sent in there to break bondages, to break generational curses, you know, and he had to send somebody in there that's got tough enough skin. See, because I'm an old Plant City girl. When he said Plant City a while ago, my soul went, woo, because I'm an old Plant City girl. And I can get down with it, you know what I'm saying? I grew up on a farm. We used to wrestling cows and stuff, so I can get down with it. I ain't worried about it. You can look at me crazy if you want to. I'll kick the heels off this town. We'll shake down with it. I don't care. You know? And I'm alright with it. You know? Maybe I ain't got no weave in my hair, but I'll do a Holy Ghost dance with you if you want to. I'm okay. You know? So it's taken them a year or 2 to get used to me. But they alright now. But I want y'all to turn with me, if you don't mind, to 1 Kings chapter 18. I'm going to try to run through this as quickly as I can, because I want to give Pastor Wright his due. Let's start at verse 41. Elijah had already heard a word from the Lord at the beginning of the chapter, when he had said that the Lord had told him that he was going to send some rain. So Elijah said in verse 41, he said, then Elijah said to Ahab, go up, eat and drink, for there is the sound of abundance of rain. So Ahab went up to eat and drink, and Elijah went up to the top of Carmel, bowed down on the ground, and put his face between his knees, and said to his servant, go up now, look toward the sea. So he went up and looked and said, there is nothing. And 7 times he said, go again. Then it came to pass the 7th time, and he said, there is a cloud as small as a man's hand rising up out of the sea. So he said, go up, say to Ahab, prepare your chariot, and go down before the rain stops you. Now it happened in the meantime that the sky became black with clouds and wind, and there was a heavy rain. So Ahab rode away and went to Jezreel. Then the hand of the Lord came upon Elijah, and he girded up his loins and ran ahead of Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel.
My Lord. Come on.
See, Elijah declared that he had heard the sound of the abundance of rain.
Oh, yes.
Now, it didn't look like no rain. It didn't smell like rain.
Well.
It didn't feel like rain. He didn't even feel a little sprinkle of rain.
Come on.
Yet the prophet said that he could hear the sound of the abundance of rain. See, prophets have been sent to give us a voice into what is stirring in the atmosphere.
Yes.
See, Revelation 2:17 says, he that have an ear, let them hear. So I want to ask you folks, what are you listening for?
That's right.
What are you listening for? Are you listening to the news on Fox 28 or whatever channel it is? Or are you listening to what the Lord is telling you?
Come on.
See, Elijah, when he went to the top of Mount Carmel and he put his head between his knees, they didn't have, a room built, where they could go in and pray. They had to pray wherever they could pray.
Yeah.
So he put his knee between his knees.